Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Evolving Skies, make sure you go ahead and check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your order using that code Omnipoke. For today's video, we are coming at you with a Fusion Strike buy list, looking at what cards I recommend for you to purchase, either those that are instantly playable in the game or ones that have some good future potential, as well as a nice believer buy list out there for those of you who want to play some more fun rogue stuff or have an eye for the future of some of these cards. And this is actually an interesting set. This could be a very cheap set for you or a very expensive set for you, based on whether or not you want to fork out for the new Fusion Strike archetype. And I believe these are likely going to be involved in tier 1 or 2 contending decks and have potential for the future, because Mew is looking very, very strong. And I think if you are going to be playing the Mew VMAX deck, you probably want to play 4 of the regular V and 3 of the VMAX. Latias comes in as an attacking option if you are trying to play that Mew here, right in the center of your screen, because it can be a nice attack to copy with that Mew VMAX to deny damage from opposing VMAX Pokemon, which is pretty nice. There's also Genesect, which has to come alongside the Mew VMAX, as it will be the draw engine. If you only want to purchase Genesect, you don't need to get the Mew package. You can just have Genesect and Toxtricity potentially here. I would recommend getting 4 Toxel, but I would never really play 4 Toxtricity in a deck because you want to cash in on the draw engine of Genesect and it can be a little bit clunky. But I think 3, just for that max down ability and capitalizing on it to bring VMAXs into range of your Technoblast, is obviously very good. An Oricorio here, probably a staple if you're playing the Mew deck or the Genesect deck, but it's just a rare, so it won't really break the bank. Then we have a ton of nice Fusion Strike cards in terms of trainers and supporters here. I basically only recommend getting any of these cards if you're playing the Fusion Strike deck. The exceptions to that would be Cross Switcher and Battle VIP Pass, where I think they may be a little bit more transferable. Cross Switcher being a 2U steal for Guzma in an item, which is crazy, most likely going in the Fusion Strike deck. Battle VIP Pass really takes advantage of a PNE engine that can be used on your first turn to get 2 basics immediately into play, which is also pretty nice and is likely to go into these archetypes as a one-of as far as I can tell. Alessa Sparkle is a fantastic supporter for acceleration for these archetypes. Chili, Sun, and Cress is a decent supporter for searching these kind of cards. Power Tablet is their damage modifier. Fusion Energy is what you accelerate with Alessa Sparkle and is a way to protect your Fusion Strike Pokemon. So it's all about the Fusion Strike package, the core essentials. These are the cards that I think you really want to buy. So if you just want to get everything out of this deck from this set, you can certainly go in and get everything for it. Otherwise, you can basically ignore the most part of the core essentials list. So this could be a very cheap set for you if you don't believe in the Fusion Strike archetype, or if you feel like you want to play other archetypes instead. If you do want to play single strike, Gengar is a potential option. I have a 2+ here on the Gengar VMAX. I imagine there's going to be a couple of schools of thought with the Gengar. There might be some 4-3 thick lines of Gengar where you go full on with Hiding Darkness energies as well as the single strike energies and still have Umbreon as like a backup, maybe like a 2-2 or a 3-2 line. But I could also see there being a mishmash of everything in one deck where you play like a 3-2 Umbreon, a 2-2 Gengar, and maybe like a 2-1 Urshifu, or even like just 2 of the regular Urshifu Vs with no VMAXs, and you still try and balance having single strike energy alongside like captures, maybe still like 1 or 2 Hiding Darks, and you try and balance it out between these guys. But overall, I think Gengar is one of the best counterbalances to Mew that we have in the game, and that is probably going to make it a relevant card in the format. So I would say 2-2 minimum for Gengar, sort of like a 3-3 or a 4-3 at the highest end, I would say here. And then for Rapid Strike, especially if you're into using things like Inteleon pings and having Cheryl at your disposal, Inteleon is looking pretty promising as well. It's a Rapid Striker, so you can take advantage of Artillery and Rapid Strike Energy, one of the best Cheryl abusers that we can potentially be using here. It could be a quad Path to the Peak deck, similar to how we've seen Dragapult and Jolteon function. It could also be a Training Court-based deck, recovering water energy for extra snipe pressure with double shooter. So pretty versatile card here that I think is likely to be relatively successful as well. Next up, we have the Believer buy list, cards that may prove themselves to be mid-tier contenders or have a good amount of potential for the future. let's look at the sort of outcasts of the Fusion Strike package. So these are still really looking at the Fusion Strike archetype and are basically bells and whistles that aren't mandatory in the deck, but could end up seeing some play in the right format as things pan out. So I would suggest a 2/1/1 line of Huntail Gorobis. They both evolve from Clamperl, so I think that would be as thick as you need to go here. Gorobis and Huntail could also see play in the controlling decks, so something to bear in mind there. A Selgor as a grass-type attacker could be one of your best checks to Umbreon VMAX if you're concerned about it, especially when you think about power tablets on top of the base 120 damage here that you have, and the fact that Single Strike Umbreon normally damages itself with Houndoom. You could get some one-hit KO swing turns there if need be. Hooper also has a really interesting ability that may make it a threatening option into Dragapult, Mew, as well as the Urshifu variants, so that's kind of interesting. Difficult to power up though, so something to bear in mind. That's why I don't think it's a core essential. Meloetta has some decent burst damage if you play it, or like you use this card to attack with on the turn you use a lesser Sparkle. Smeagol can recover some some Fusion Strike cards. And Deoxys, I've got a 1+ here. I really don't know the home for Deoxys. I know some people have banded around like a Deoxys focused deck, but its own text of needing to have Fusion Strike energy attached makes it really limited in how you play it. Even with like Houndoom potential support or Octillery potential support, you still need to play the Fusion Strike energies and a lesser Sparkle, and that's a finite resource that you have. So Deoxys can't really be like its own deck. Maybe it's a bit part player in some other single prize attacking options. Not really sure on this one. So I've got it as a 1+, just as a question mark, because I know people see a lot of potential here, but I don't see the deck myself working out. The Everyone Roll Together deck is kind of memey, but you can block out VMAXs, which may be relevant in the format. Adventurous Discovery, I've got it on here as the Believer buy list. I don't think it's necessarily a core essential. I can't foresee many archetypes right now wanting to play this Adventurous Discovery, but it does have a good amount of potential for future. I know a lot of people enjoy the Pyukumuku option as well, just for decks that have quick balls, that have level balls, want to have the option to just draw an extra card here and there. Is decent, but I don't think it's necessarily mandatory for any of these decks to play it over just any other card in your deck. Dunsparce is an interesting one, especially if you have your eye out for the V-Star decks, because so far we have Arceus revealed, and that has fighting weakness and is a colorless Pokemon, so Dunsparce is probably a natural include to that sort of deck. So certainly has potential for future. If you believe in control, like I am starting to believe, you may want to pick up some of these cards. Azumarill with Marill potentially, but even on its own, if you just believe entirely in the Zoroark package, where you just discard the Azumarill and Zoroark can turn into Azumarill or sort of bring it into play via the discard pile, that is very reasonable. Crabominable could be a one-of in that sort of Azumarill deck, or could end up being its own archetype, either with Inteleon or Frostmoth, similar to how we've seen Sableye, or could be a just quad mill deck, similar to Houndoom EX back in the day. Sydney also seems like a good option for the control players. Greedent's interesting as well. I've gone 2+ in this realm as well. For the most part, I've only tested Greedent as a 2/2 package alongside other attackers. I don't think it's early enough tempo to be its own deck where you play like a 4/3 line of Greedent and really lean into this card massively. I mostly think it's going to work out as just a bit part player that every now and then the combo comes off and you end up stealing a game from the opponent via that big stocks attack. So at the moment, 2/2 is pretty much on my list. I probably will be getting this card because I think it's a fun one. So it might be something that I have just for league play or for cups or something like that. And Sponge Gloves could be an option to capitalize on the Sobbles out there in the world for your Greedent. So it also could go alongside this here. Then a couple of the sort of lesser powerful V and VMAX cards that we're getting from the set. Chandelure capitalizing on some trainer cards that your opponent has in their hand, but not really stable damage output. Bolton VMAX, obviously we have a ton of lightning support in the game with Speed Lightning, Stormy Mountains, those sorts of things. Also the old Electrify Bolton is very good, Flaffy, all those sorts of cards. So pretty easy deck to pilot, and the VMAX would be an upgrade to just using a quad V based list here. And Serena is a card that I really enjoy playing. I don't think it's super strong, but it's a huge throwback to Mega Gardy. And I think grass typing is going to be relevant in the format if Single Strike is the best answer to Fusion Strike. I know giving a bit of a rock, paper, scissory mentality here, but Serena is also very good at dealing with Umbreon, so that could give it a place in the format. So yeah, really that's about it. If you're Looking to buy the Fusion Strike deck, it's going to be an expensive one for you. If you just want to stick to current decks, I don't think that's a bad option for this set specifically. Although I am a big believer in the Fusion Strike archetypes, so do bear that in mind. I probably will be forking out for at least the Genesects and see how I feel about the Muse IRL. But I'll also be looking to get the Greedents for a bit of fun. I'm probably also going to get the Azumarill because that's going to be a lot of my time sink, I think, this set, trying to figure out if Control can work in the format. Let me know your thoughts on the buy list, and yeah, I hope you did enjoy. Hopefully this helped educate just before we get into our pre-releases and start opening packs ourselves. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video tomorrow. Cheers.